Hello and welcome to the Matchbook Horse Racing Podcast. I am your host, not Tom Stanley. He's off in Spain this week. And officially, the jumps are back. The first racing at Cheltenham takes place today, Friday, and we are here to preview Saturday's action from Cheltenham with a bit of flat racing as well from Doncaster and Newbury. I'm joined by Steve Jones and Charlie Poste, and we'll be flying through all 10 races very shortly. I'd just like to take the chance now to ask you to like and subscribe to the podcast. It's the best way to support the podcast. We love your likes and subscribes. And we'll just have a quick look as well at the new Matchbook Horse Racing sign-up offer. So it's sign up tomorrow with the bonus code GET100. Place and settle 5 £10 bets on horse racing at minimum odds of 2.0 even money, and then you will get 5 more £10 free bets to bet on horse racing. Plus, as an added extra, you're going to get all the commission that you pay on winning bets back until the 23rd of December. So it's the one that just keeps on giving. Perfect for this weekend. We're going to be previewing. We have tips for 5 races at Cheltenham, so why not deposit 50 tomorrow and back all of Charlie's tips, all of Steve's tips, or all of your own tips, whatever you like. How are things, lads? How are you doing? How are you, Charlie?
Yeah, really good, Deasy. Yeah, like you said, I mean, we're about 45, 50 minutes from Cheltenham. It's a beautiful morning. It's like quite cold this morning as well. Like it does feel like the jumps are back, and yeah, jealous of all these people going to Cheltenham this afternoon. As in, it's brilliant to have it back and back rolling with the good stuff, and a bit of rain around as well, so plenty of runners as well.
Yeah, Steve, are you going to Cheltenham this afternoon or tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm nearer the pin than Charlie. I'm only 20 minutes away, and it is cold. I am popping down this afternoon, loving the fact that there's big fields. The rain that we've had this week, I think it's Storm Benjamin has done the trick. So loads of runners, competitive racing, both days. Thoroughly looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's a very good card, and we will jump straight into it now. I think the first race is the 110 tomorrow. It's the 2.5 mile novices handicap chase, and at the top of the market we have Crest of Fortune at 7.0 for Anthony Honeyball, Double Powerful for Neil Holland at 7.5, Inox Allen is 12.0, and then it's bigger prices the rest. So Charlie, will come to you first. Who would you like here?
Yeah, I mean, it's a real trappy race and some potentially real quality novice chasers to follow through the season. I'm going to go one that I don't probably think has as much upside as some of these for the future. And Springs a Girl, Martin Keithley trained, made a really encouraging start to chasing career at Worcester last time, finishing second, stayed on well over an inadequate 2 miles. Frustratingly was £8 out the handicap that day, so got bumped up 7 for that. But this is going to be really suited by this step up a further half a mile in trip. And the big bonus for me is Sean Bowen, who rode last time, keeps the ride. Sean Bowen on fire at the moment. I don't think there's anyone better riding in the UK or Ireland right now. He's won on 10 of his last 14 rides. Come back Springs a Girl at Wynnum Place at 15.0. I think she's really interesting in this race to kick the card off.
Yeah, Springs a Girl for Martin Keeley, local trainer as well, and usually does well at this meeting, targets the early meetings very effectively. Steve, who do you like?
I like a horse that's making his chase debut called Newton Tornado of Rebecca Curtis's. I think in a race like this, especially at this time of the season, you're trying to identify horses that have got to improve for switching from hurdles to fences. And I think he could be one. Certainly was promising enough over hurdles, but I think he's going to kick on, A, with the summer break behind him, and B, switching to fences. And he won the last time we saw him at Force Last. That form is only in novice hurdlers, and he was a shade of odds on. But it was the manner in which he did it. The runner-up Courageous Strike won his next 2 starts. And I just think he's a horse that's going to really come into his own. His pedigree says that. He's a nephew of a nickname and a horse called No Risk at All, who, although didn't run over jumps, has become one of the top stallions in France. And you'll know loads and loads of horses who is his sons and daughters, No Risk at All. So he's got a really good pedigree for jumping. Newton Tornado. And I think with Rebecca Curtis did it with a similar sort of horse in Horticolor last year. And Newton Tornado could be a smart chaser. So I'm hoping he starts off. He certainly has the potential to be well handicapped.
Yeah, so that's Newton Tornado for you, Steve, and Springs a Girl for you, Charlie. We'll jump on to the 145. It's a 3-mile novices hurdle. Steve, I'll come straight back to you. Who would you like?
I am going to go for a horse called Manila Supreme. And again, you're looking for horses that are forward and are capable of improving. And Manila Supreme is trained by John McConnell, an Irish trainer who has got a really good record in this race. He seems to target this meeting. He's won this 3 times in the last 5 years. And considering that's the only runners he's had in it, the 5 runners, I think Manila Supreme is going to be primed for today. He won at Kilbeggan last time out. He fell on his hurdles debut when he was just creeping into it 2 out, but that was no problem next time. He went from the front, so he's pretty straightforward, Manila Supreme, and with that stable confidence for targeting this race. I think in what is obviously going to be an open race, it's a novices hurdle early in the season, but Manila Supreme for me is very interesting.
It's Manila Supreme for Steve, and you're with the other horse at the top of the market, Charlie.
Yeah, Paula Fee for me. Gordon Elliott again is coming over mob-handed for these 2 days at Cheltenham, and I just think that this horse, I think he's got a level already that is going to be tough for these to get to. Had the run, or obviously a lightly racehorse, I presume, has had problems. We only saw him once last year when he was second at 11-10 favourite. Then off from January through to October, and look, he was 1-9. He needed to do no more than cant around, but he seemed to really relish the step up to 2 mile 6. I think this step up another 2 furlongs to 3 mile will suit him really well. He is a 7-year-old, but he's still very lightly raced with a lot of scope to go forward. Like I said, I think this triple suit really well. He's had a run under his belt, and Gordon seems to be targeting this meeting. Jack Kennedy on board. I really like this horse for tomorrow.
That's Paula Fee for Charlie and Manila Supreme for Steve. And we just to say hello to Dale and Peter who are listening in. We got the comments. Peter Punce has sent in he fancies Conman John for Lucinda Russell. So best of luck with that, Peter. We'll jump on to the next race, the 220, which is a 3-mile handicap chase. And Charlie, I'll come back to you. You're with the horse that I fancy in this.
Yeah, Highland for me, for Nicky Henderson, Dakota Boinville, 7.5. He's again, this is a belting race, which is first and foremost. But this horse, he's won at this meeting for the last 2 years. He likes reasonable ground. And he's just very, very classy. You know, he's a very good novice chaser last year. He defeated Resplendent Grey in a novice chase at the November meeting after winning here in October. Beyond that, he was then second to the Jukebox Man, the Grade 1 at Kenton, and was the only one that got anywhere near Sam Thomas's horse in the Racing Post chase at Kenton in the spring. Disappointed in the Grand National, but I mean, for whatever reason, that just is never Nicky Henderson's race. But I think early in the season, in the spring, is the time to catch this horse. And as I've said already, he's won at this meet in the last 2 years, and he's just high caliber, high quality animal. And at 7.5, I thought he was very, very interesting. Dees, I presume you thought the same.
Yeah, Jez, I was backing him for the ultimate for the good bit of the year last year, and he let me down and done my money there, but he just jumps and travels well around Cheltenham, and I think that's a huge thing to have in your favour when you're lining up here. So Highland is 7.5. Steve, who do you fancy?
Yeah, it's a wide open race, and I think Highland does set the standard, but there's others in there. 3-card Bragg coming over from Ireland. Emmett Mullins has got a couple of runners in there, which always puts me on edge, and the short go as well, runner up in the race last year. So it's wide open, but I just got a funny feeling it might be closer to home, the winner in Ballycamus of the Twiston Davises, who's already fit because has had a run and ran really well at Chepstow behind Ask Brewster of Evan Williams's, who is a prolific winner and improving really well. And Ballycamus, I thought, ran like a horse who's going to improve for that first run back. That is kind of borne out by his record as well. He tends to come good on his second and third start of the season. So that's a good pointer. And I just think this is a horse who's taken a little while to take to fences, but now he's in the groove. I think this season he will kick on, and I think he might well be well handicapped for the Twiston Davies. The other point is, even though it's a big field, even though it's Cheltenham and it's a competitive race, on this old course that is being in use, there's obviously two slightly different courses at Cheltenham. I don't like horses that come from off the pace, and Ballycamus is likely to be up there. It's certainly not too far off the pace, and that's going to be a help as well. So I'm going to take a chance at a bit of a bigger price on Ballycamus, who's around 17.
So that's Ballycamus for Steve and Highland for Charlie and myself in the 220. We'll jump on next to the Pretemps at 255. Steve, we'll come straight back to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna take another chance with a horse who I think has got the potential to improve this season quite markedly, and that's Electric Mason. Now, it comes from an informed stable of Chris Gordon's. His son Freddie Gordon is in the saddle. I went down to see Chris Gordon. Oh, Freddie was about 10 or 12, and I said, "What does your lad think about racing?" And he said he thinks it's shit. He likes Chelsea. Well, he soon changed his mind, and he's a very good jockey now, and he's based with Nicky Henderson, so he's doing very well. But Electric Mason, I think, is going to improve going up in distance as well. He ran midfield in the Martin Pipe conditional jockeys over 2.5 at the Cheltenham Festival on the back of a 1-10 win in a 3-runner race. But if previous to that, he was running in good races behind the New Lion, especially he was only beaten 3 or 4 lengths by the New Lion, who went on obviously to win at the Cheltenham Festival. That was at Newbury's big autumn meeting. And after that, I just thought he was losing a little bit of interest in his races because they were going a bit too hard for him over shorter distances. Up to 3 miles, which he's bred to like. I'm going to take a chance with Electric Mason, who's quite a decent price.
Yeah, where he's top of 23 or 24.0 for him, for Chris Gordon, a trainer who is always worth following when he's in a hot streak. He's 3 from 10 from his last 10 runners. Pretty good. Charlie, who are you looking at here?
They're always tricky, these races, aren't they? Because you wonder if people are looking beyond it, but it is a very good prize in its own right. Nearly 20 grand to the winner for this. Supremely West for me. He was a decent horse last year. Probably does have a preference for real slow ground, which might not be the case at tomorrow. But he's making his debut for the Skeltons. He was with Richard Newland and Jamie Insole last year. Won well at Haydock, was bumped up 10, but ran well off that mark at Warwick on his last run in the spring, actually finishing behind also the Skeltons, Doyen Quest. He, like I said, trainer change during the summer, wind up, the usual sort of Paul Nicholls, Dan Skelton thing for these new recruits. And Harry Skelton is on board. They got 2 runners in the race. Harry Atkins, a £7 claimer, rides the other runner. But I just thought, I'm not whether it's a trainer upgrade. Well, I think, Dan Skelton is probably the best British trainer at the moment. I thought he was very, very interesting. I see he's out to 13.0 now. And Dan's going to be trying to rack up plenty of prize money early in the season as he goes all out to try and win a first trainer's title.
Yeah, and good luck to Dan this year. We are skipping the Masters Hurdle because we've nothing in that, and we're just going on to the 405 where we just have one selection from you, Charlie. That's the 3 Mile Novice Chase.
Yeah, I mean, probably a more tentative one, but as Steve has already mentioned, John McConnell really targets this meeting. He's had a lot of success over the last few years at these early Cheltenham meetings, especially the October one, and an intense approach. 3.5 for him. He was a good novice hurdler. Again, another horse that won at this meeting last year, which I think is important at times, that sort of showing horse who can go well fresh early in the year. And he won a competitive race at Galway on his chase debut. They finished in a bit of a heap. But like I said, there's plenty of meat to that form, I think. And I'd have thought with that run under his belt, he's going to be very hard to beat in this contest. And he's a horse that could conceivably be rolling back here in March with claims in one of the bigger novice chasers.
Perfect. That is Cheltenham done and dusted. The next one we're going to go on to now, we're just going to go back to Doncaster now for a bit of flat action, and the next race we're going to cover is the 130. You're both in the same horse here, so Charlie, I'll let you come back in there and tell me why you fancy Trilby.
Yeah, Trilby, I'm back in winning place at 8.0. He's first and foremost a trainer for him. Sam England has a string in fantastic form at the moment, and this horse, he's also got a liking. He's won on heavy ground before, which I think is going to be very important. Doncaster, very, very slow ground conditions that they're going to be on Saturday. And he comes into this with a string of place runs, but his latest run at Haydock, he was second behind a real improving 3-year-old from the William Haggis yard in a race that he won last year. But even in spite of that, he's still below his last winning mark. The other fancied horses are all drawn in and around him, and with conditions in his favour, I think this horse is primed for a big run. And like I said, at the prices, you can back him in the win and place markets.
Steve, anything to add there?
Yeah, I've been waiting for Trilby to run over 5 furlongs. He's been running over 6, and I think he's better over 5. And we got that last time, but I don't think he was on the right part of the track at Haydock, and he bumped into a really progressive filly of Willie Haggis. It's called Kinswoman. And the other thing to note is that, like Charlie said, the ground's going to be very testing at Doncaster. He's run twice on heavy ground, and he's won both times. I'm mad keen on Trilby. And it's too early in the morning for me to think, but I was going to get my Trilby hat and go like this in kind of like John Rickman style. But of course, it's too early for me.
Maybe next year, Steve.
It would have been a nice touch, really.
Yeah. So that's Trilby for Steve and Charlie in the 130 at Doncaster. For Sam England, again, another yard where you should watch for money. They like to back the horse when they win. We're skipping the futurity. Have you anything at all in the futurity? No comments.
Only that for me, it's very hard to find a bet of this when one stable, i.e. Aidan O'Brien, dominates it and can control exactly what's happening. So yeah, although it's got a record of throwing up
Guineas
Derby horses and things and Guineas winners. Not for me to do for this weekend. Yeah,
this was always the race that he used sent his 2,000 guineas runner to, but he's kind of stopped really focusing on the 2,000 guineas in the last few years, so I don't really know what to make of it now. Anyway, we move on. The 240 at Doncaster, 6 furlong race. No, there's only one bet here. Is there? Steve, who'd you like here?
Oh yeah, Boston Dan for Richard Fahey, who I think is going to be well handicapped. It's a tricky little race, but I did think that not well handicapped, progressive, because it's a listed race. I think he's up to this sort of level. And Richard Fahey obviously had a very good Champions Day, having the 200-1 winner. Well, Boston Dan isn't going to be that sort of price. But he ran second in a listed race at York last time behind Division of William Haggis's, who went on to run well at Champions Day in the new 2-year-old race there. And Boston Dan will be up with the pace, which I think is important in testing ground. He's not going to be far away. And it's just one that I thought was slightly overpriced and struggling for too many bets on the flat. I thought Boston Dan was one of the better ones.
Yeah, so that's Boston Dan in the 240 at Doncaster for Steve. On to Newbury next, the Horace Hill Stakes. And Steve, you're the only one with a bet here as well.
Oh, am I? A Pandemonium. Yeah, again, we're talking testing ground at Newbury. Maybe not as soft as it sometimes can be, but you certainly want horses that are going to see the distance out. And Pandemonium's unbeaten in 2 starts. The first of them at Yarmouth on soft ground went very impressive. Probably didn't have to even match that form next time, but won very easily at Redcar under a penalty. And just looks a very smart horse for the Crisfords for this time of year. So Pandemonium in the Horace Hill Stakes for me.
and the moment of Horace Hill. And
He's
Charlie,
got no chance on official figures, though, is he, or not? Like,
the Appleby horse is £20 clear.
Yeah, you had to try and get the spirit of Tom Stanley in here somewhere. Official figures: Charlie Appleby, Godolphin, Ollie Murphy's probably going to make an appearance at some point. So, but it's good to have a proper host for once.
Well, I'm just going to put up the Charlie Appleby double there now at Newbury, Ancient Wisdom and Time to Turn, because they're both in Godolphin colours. Not really. We'll jump on to the final race there. So that we're covering the St. Simon Stakes at Newbury. It's 1.5 miles. Group 3. Charlie, you like one in here?
Yeah, I mean, just because of course form and the, you know, again, if the ground does soften up the ability to handle slower conditions. I mean, LRC, he's 9.0. I mean, he has to carry a decent penalty, but quite a few of these do in here. But he's just a fantastic horse, and he loves Newbury. And I think 8 starts, 4 wins, 2 places, and he's just a very high quality horse. And yeah, he probably was slightly underwhelming on his latest start, but it wouldn't be the biggest surprise to see him bounce back at this track. And I thought he was overpriced, Dease, compared to some of the opposition in here, because this is his level, sort of Group 3s.
He is a rock solid Group 3 horse, and anything above that, then he just doesn't seem to get there. I kind of have a liking for Sea Scout in this race. I think maybe soft ground might suit him a bit better than the farm stuff he's been running on, but he's in as a 3-year-old. He's got a nice weight allowance there as well. I can see him running a big race off 11.0. I think that's it now for Saturday's action. We'll just call out a few of the tips there in the comments. So Dale Grimble has a fancy today for the Last Cloud. Plays constantly, best on the clock with big weights. He's been running up in Perth. 30% for the trainer, fav too short, in my opinion. Peter Punce likes intense approach, long draw, and man of the people in Cheltenham on Saturday as well. Thanks for listening in, lads. We're going to jump onto our own Friday bets or any other bets. So I've 2 for Friday. I have Norman Fletcher in the 225 at Cheltenham. Again, look, he ran very well this time last year. He ran at this meeting without a prep run last year, finished second, then followed up in November meeting and won his race. He's had a prep run this year. He's coming in here match fit for a very informed yard, the Twisted Davises, and he is about 7.0, I think. And the other one then is Yasko the Dam for Henry the Bromhead in the 2 mile chase. His horse finished 5th at the Grand Annual last year. I think he's 25 years old. Improving. Henry has tagged this meeting successfully a couple of times in the last 3 years, and he the winner last year with Senior Chief. Sean Cole kept second. This horse just looks a really good 2 mile chaser for a yard that does well at those kind of horses. He's a sharp price. He's 3.5, but yeah, I can see him winning handy. And Charlie, do you want to go 3 or 2?
Yeah, just a couple for today. Friendship in the first. You know, he was very strongly fancied for the silver trophy at Chepstow, and he was still travelling great when he took an unfortunate tumble up the straight. And I'd find it hard to think that he wouldn't have been strongly involved. He had good novice hurdle form last year. I think his mark of 1:28 is very workable. You know, he went off, I think 5.0 or something like that for the silver trophy, and you can back him at 7.5 today. I thought he was interesting horse. You can back him and win and place if you want to. And then also just through back class in the 3:35, the 2 mile handicap chase, horse is very dear to me. 3rd time lucky. Took a while to find his form with Fergal O'Brien, but won his latest 2 starts. Granted, this is a significant upgrade in the quality of the contest again, but his mark on his old form at his very best, he's still thrown in. And his figures from his latest run when he won weren't bad at all. And again, I think he's about 15.0 D. So I just thought with back class, he was still an interesting horse that can be, you know, you can back in the place market as well if you want to.
Yeah, that's 3rd time lucky. Fergal O'Brien, he's 11.0, and Friendship for Philip Hobbs in the first race today. Okay, we just jump on to the long shot. So, Steve, do you want to give us your one?
Yeah, it's Electric Mason at Cheltenham for Chris and Freddie Gordon at, I think, 23.0.
Yeah, they're both the same race. Charlie, and your one?
Yeah, Supremely West in the same contest.
Okay. And we're going to jump on to our best bets now. If you put our 3 best bets into a treble, a £5 money back special, if the bet loses, you get your stake back as a free bet. So I'm going to go first. I'm putting up Highland in the 220 at Cheltenham. Steve?
I'm putting up Trilby. Don't ignore the Cheltenham bit in the caption because it's at Doncaster. Hats off to Trilby.
And Charlie?
Paula Fee in the 145, 4.33.
So that's Highland in the 220 at Cheltenham, Trilby in the half one at Doncaster, and Paula Fee at the 145 at Cheltenham. That'll be a nice payout if the 3 of them all win. That's it. Thanks very much, lads. Enjoy the weekend. May all your bets be winning ones.